Hi guys, welcome to another episode of our show when we talk about everything football, everything sports, but we still narrow it down to actually football. Last week we started off with the Premier League. Yes, the Premier League just started last weekend and we enjoyed everything. We've been anticipating what will happen this season. Now the season has started. My name is Dime and with me is
VK.
Yes, she was with me last week and she was really doing very, very well with her predictions. Last week we gave her some predictions for the weekend football, and Vicky, please tell us how we did last.
So, for the correct scores,
we
got 3 correct scores.
Yes.
We both got 3 correct scores. But for the result, I got 6 correct and you got 4 correctly.
Not bad. I'll take the defeat.
Let me just give you a brief of the ones we got correctly.
Okay.
For you got Liverpool Ipswich correctly.
2-0.
You got Arsenal Wolves correctly.
2-0.
And you also got Aston Villa West Ham correctly.
That's 2-1. Yeah, 2-1.
So I got Arsenal Wolves correctly.
Okay.
I got Aston Villa West Ham correctly.
Okay.
And I got Nottingham Forest Bournemouth correctly.
Okay, not bad. 3 correct scores. We played draw there. So this weekend I'm going to get more correct scores. Don't worry.
Okay. I can see the fire. Okay, so now let's move on to this week. Last week was fantastic.
Yes.
Yes, there were some games that we expected some results and it didn't come out as we expected. But this week, let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
So the first game for the week is Brighton Manchester United.
Okay, for the game between Brighton versus Manchester United, the two teams won last weekend, and I really liked the way Brighton played against Everton because they were playing away at Everton at the Goodison Park, and they ran riots over Everton. Everton had stood no chance against Brighton, and Brighton has been coming off a good preseason.
Yes,
so
fantastic preseason.
Fantastic preseason. I'm even surprised that I didn't go their way last week for them to win.
It was sentiment.
It was actually sentiment, but this week I'll be sure not to add sentiment to my predictions. But Manchester United were not really that convincing, but were able to sneak in the win in the last moment of the game at Old Trafford. So for this game, Brighton versus Manchester United, I'm going to go 1-1, looking at the fact that Manchester United don't really score a lot of goals and they were able to keep a clean sheet against Fulham, but Brighton has goals in them. So Brighton might get 1 goal or more, but I'll stick with 1-1 Brighton, Manchester United.
So for me, Brighton has always been Manchester United's nemesis.
Exactly.
Even if Manchester United seems to beat all the big clubs, they come to Brighton and then they give them the 3 points.
Yeah.
And I remember, was it 2 seasons ago? It was also beginning of the season like this. Manchester United played Brighton and Brighton beat them. So I'm actually believing that Brighton is going to beat them. Okay. 2-1.
2-1. So Manchester United fans, don't be angry. She's even a Manchester United fan, but she's saying that Brighton might just beat their club. I don't know, but let's go to the next one. Crystal Palace versus West Ham.
Yep.
And the Hammers were not hammering last weekend because they were being hammered by Aston Villa. So at the Olympic Stadium where they play their home ground. So for this game, Crystal Palace, a lot of hype has been around that team, but last weekend they didn't turn up also. Yeah. They didn't turn up. So I'm going to go the Hammers to actually win this one. It's going to be a tough game because both teams play in London. So it's like a London derby. So I'm expecting West Ham to come out in full force to actually get the points. These are the times where teams want to really get points.
Yes.
So I think West Ham might come off a point in this one. So I'm going to give West Ham 2-1.
Okay. For me, both of them have not been fantastic. And I feel like it's going to be difficult for West Ham to actually beat Crystal Palace in their home. So I'm actually giving them a draw.
A draw.
1-1 draw.
Okay, a 1-1 draw. Crystal Palace versus West Ham for Vicky, and I'm going West Ham to win by 2-1. That's my own prediction.
So for the next game, we have Manchester City and Ipswich Town. I really feel sorry for Ipswich Town.
I really feel sorry for them because they just played Liverpool. Now they are playing Manchester City, the champions. And you know what the champions did to the buying club, to Chelsea. It was
and obviously, if not because of the Ipswich goalkeeper, they would have conceded a lot more goals.
They
than
would have
they did
conceded
last.
up to 6 goals in
Yes.
that game.
So it's actually very funny, and they didn't really have great chances of scoring.
No
great chance.
no really great chances.
So I think they need to up their game. But for this particular game, I'm giving it 3-0. Manchester City to beat them, and I hope that they do so with Messi. That is why I'm saying 3-0.
Well, I'm going to go 3-1. I believe Ipswich will maybe register their first goal against Manchester City.
Really?
Yes, Ipswich might just do that because if you look at history, Ipswich has been the beating boys.
In the 90s.
They are the ones who actually beat Manchester City. Permit me to use that word. They always win against Manchester City, but someone will say that was then.
90s.
Them
old
coming
glory.
They have old glory, but don't forget, old glory is still glory. Old oil is still oil.
Yeah, I can see the old glory all over my club, Manchester United.
But I think Manchester City is going to win this one point blank. Vicky has predicted 3-0. I am going to give Ipswich an opportunity. They might get 1 goal because he who is on the ground fears no fall. So they might come out and get 1 more goal. So let me just put it out there that it's going to be 3-1. Okay. Manchester City actually winning.
Okay, so next game we have Southampton, Nottingham Forest. What is your prediction?
Southampton, Nottingham Forest. Southampton, I was expecting them to actually do more, possibly get a goal against Newcastle because Newcastle were 1 man down sometime in the middle of the first half. So they played most of the game 11 men, and while Newcastle were having 10 men. So I expected them to actually rattle Newcastle, get a goal or 2, but they couldn't. So I'm not really sure of what they are bringing to the table right now. But for Nottingham Forest, they really did good. They drew their game at the weekend. So I believe that Nottingham Forest might come off a win, their first win this season. And my prediction is going to be Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 1.
Okay. So for me, I'm predicting a draw.
A draw.
1-1.
1-1.
Yes.
That means Nottingham Forest 2 draws in a row.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, if they were actually a little bit stronger, they ought to have won that match against Bournemouth. Because it's not like Bournemouth is a very formidable team. So for them to have still drawn Bournemouth, I still feel like they're probably going to still draw Southampton.
Yeah, you feel they are going to draw Southampton?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. So for you, it is 1-1. For me, it is 2-1. 2-1, yeah.
Okay, so on to the next game. We have Tottenham and Everton.
I don't want to deliberate on this game. I just feel Tottenham is going to win by 2-0. Let's just go straight to the point because Everton, I don't see what is actually going on there. They've not convinced me enough. They played at home last weekend against Brighton, and they didn't even show as if they were at home. They showed like they were playing in somebody else's compound. So, so they were not even showing as if they were at home. So, for me, it's going to be Tottenham 2. Tottenham 2 has their own issues, but I believe Tottenham is going to win this game by 2-0.
Okay, for me, I think Tottenham is going to win 2-1. Everton might not have shown themselves last week, but Brighton was actually a very strong team also if you consider how they've been, their run. So I feel like Tottenham is going to win, but Everton is probably just going to sneak in 1 goal.
Okay, 2-1 it is for you. Let's go to the next one, which is Fulham versus Leicester City. Leicester City is like the love of your life now. So what do you think will happen in this game?
It's not very easy. It's a bit dicey because one, Leicester wouldn't be playing at home.
Yes.
Fulham is at home.
Yeah.
But then I still feel like it's going to be 2-1. Leicester to win.
Leicester to win.
Yeah, because Manchester United played against Fulham last week, and I didn't see the fire
in Fulham.
They could have won that game now.
Okay, oh, I rest my case.
Either way, it was Old Trafford to connecting them.
Okay,
But 2-1.
2-1. So for me, I feel Fulham is going to win this one. This will be their first win for this season. I think Fulham is a strong team. They actually defensively they were a bit shaky at the end of that game in the weekend where they played Manchester United. But I think they would have checked their clips and see where they can amend and do better. So I'm going to give Fulham to win this game 2-1.
Okay. So 2-1 it is. Aston Villa Arsenal.
Aston Villa Arsenal. A lot of memories just flushes around this game because when you look at Aston Villa's performance last season, they might be one of the teams that cost Arsenal
to actually lose the league.
Lose the league
because they didn't give Arsenal any points.
They didn't get. When I remember towards the end of the season where Oli Watkins scored a fantastic goal that Arsenal fans were really bitter and hoping that Tottenham will beat City for them, but it didn't happen. So this time around, I think since it's the early part of the season, Arsenal will really want to get the point. But Aston Villa is quite strong. They'll be playing at home, and I think it's going to be a draw game. I think the two teams are going to settle for a draw. It's going to be Aston Villa 1 and Arsenal 1. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a lot of hunger in Aston Villa. They are trying to get back to be a strong team, to be, that's when you're talking about the top teams in Premier League.
Yes.
Because
true.
last season they were actually very strong, and then they've started again with a very good run.
Yeah.
And Arsenal also, beginning of the season, they're always very strong.
Yeah.
They seem to get a lot of points at the beginning of the season. I think it's towards the end of the season they seem to start throwing away most of their points.
Exactly.
But I'm actually going to see that, okay, Arsenal is strong and they're trying. And they actually won their last match. I feel they're going to win this game.
Okay.
2-1.
Like
I've been saying a lot of 2-1.
Yes, so your 2-1 is now plenty. It's like second class upper. A lot of 2-1. But anyways, we'll go to that will be the last game on Saturday. And I think it should be the game of the weekend because a lot to be going down. These two teams will be competing very, very much for the title this season. So I think this should be the biggest game this weekend. Then we'll go to Sunday games where we start off with Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Bournemouth drew against Nottingham Forest last weekend. Newcastle won even with 10 man on the ball almost most part of the game last weekend. So looking at the two teams, their strengths, you believe that Newcastle is actually stronger than Bournemouth, but what will happen at that stadium, you cannot really tell because Bournemouth can be very, very good at home. But looking at the antecedent of Newcastle and how they've started off with the season, I think Newcastle is going to win this game by 2-0.
Yeah. Newcastle have been very good. At some point, 2 seasons ago, they were also very strong. I think last season, maybe because of all the activities
and injuries
and everything, they actually dropped a bit. But I feel like this game is going to end 2-0.
2-0. You're copying me now. Then we'll move on to the next one. I think this is one of the hardest games to predict this weekend. If you ask me, that is Wolves versus Chelsea. You don't even know where that game is going to go to. Looking at the preseason and the first game of the season, you are a bit confused. Wolves lost 2-0. Chelsea lost 2-0. Chelsea lost to the champions last season. Wolves lost to be champions. So there is like maybe the two teams are just evenly balanced because right now Chelsea have so many players that are yet to gel. Too many buys, too many players. The squad is new coach. So a lot of things is actually happening beyond what we see on the pitch of play. So I am based on the pressure the coach will be in, he will try as much as he can to actually grind out a result at the Molineux where Wolves play. I think the result for Chelsea should be 2-1. I think I will go Chelsea to win 2-1.
Okay. Both of them have been quite terrible, but I feel like Chelsea is going to win.
Okay.
Just 1-0.
1-0.
Yes, I don't think there'll be a lot of goals in that game, so I feel it's just going to be 1-0.
Okay, 1-0 it is. Let's
go
to the last one.
To the last game of the week. We have Liverpool and Brentford.
Liverpool
and Brentford.
I think Liverpool, coming off their preseason, they look really strong but quiet. They are not so much in the face of everybody. They are not so loud. They just want to sneakishly win the league. So I'm thinking Liverpool might just win this game. It looks a little bit dicey. But I'm going to go Liverpool to win this game by 2-0.
Okay. So for me, I feel Liverpool is going to win this game. And I'm predicting 3-1.
3-1. And I am saying 2-0. That is almost the same thing.
Goal difference.
The same goal difference, but just
different goal line.
Yours might have a lot of goals in it.
Yeah.
And that is our prediction for the week.
Yes.
And please do not forget to leave your comments right at the bottom of the comment section. If you have your own predictions, you have your own way you think, oh, we didn't say this part so that this scoreline will change, you can put it in the comment section. Trust us to engage with you and communicate with you, whatever it is. And we would love you to also subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe.
Please subscribe to the channel.
And turn on your notification.
Turn on the notification so that whenever we drop it,
you get it like it's hot.
You get it like it's hot. And that's from me. My name is Dime.
And I'm Vicky.
And we are saying
bye.
Catch you next time.